Sorry. But yeah, so they give us the formula, they give us the first term, and they want us to find the first 4 terms. Okay, so it's the same thing as the other worksheets when we were doing arithmetic. So you're just going to get the 3, multiply it into the t sub n minus 1, because that would give you the second term. So we have negative 2 times 3, which gives us negative 6. So this is our second term. Then we need to find our third term. So we get our previous term and substitute it into the formula. So now I have negative 2 times negative 6. Negative 2 and negative 6 gives me 12. So that's the third term. Then I get the third term, plug it into the formula to get the fourth term. So I have negative 2 times 12. Negative 2 and 12 gives me negative 24, and that's the fourth term. So the answer would be 3, negative 6, 12, negative 24. Okay, for the third one, we're looking for the sixth term, given that the third term is 444 and the seventh term is 7,104. So we're looking for T6. The third term is 444, and the seventh term is 7,104. Alright, so in order to figure this out, we need our ratio. We need to figure out what the difference is between each one. So I'm going to use a formula to figure that out. Now, things get a little complicated because they give you the third term instead of the seventh term. So we basically have to pretend that this is the first term. So if this is the first term, then that's 2 terms earlier. So that means that this is going to be theoretically the seventh term. And what I mean by that is if this is 444, then I have the fourth term, the fifth term, the sixth term, and the seventh term. And the seventh term was 7,104. So when I put this into the formula, this is going to become my new first term, in which case the seventh term is now going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, my fifth term. I hope that makes sense. If not, just let me know and I'll explain it again. So given that, I'm going to plug it into the formula so I can get what the ratio, so I can figure out the ratio. So the first term again is going to be 444. So 444 times the ratio, which is what we're solving for, to the n minus 1 power. N is going to be our fifth term. So we have 5 minus 1. And that's going to equal our nth term, which we already know is 7,104. Okay, so now I'm just going to solve for r. So I have 5 minus 1, which is 4. So 7,104 equals 44 times r to the 4th power. I'm multiplying, so I'm going to divide. Okay, so I decided to just use a calculator because this is going to take me a little while. Okay. This equals 16. So now I have 16 equals r to the 4th power. I have an exponent of 4, so if I want to cancel that out, I need to find the 4th root. So this cancels with this, and the 4th root of this side. So I'm basically looking at what to the 4th power gives me 16. Okay, so, and I know that to be 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. And that's going to be what my ratio is. So now that I have my ratio, now I can figure out what the 6th term is. Okay, so same thing though. We're looking for the 6th term, but they give us the 3rd term. So we're going to shift everything again. So the 3rd term now becomes our 1st term, which means that our 6th term is actually going to be our 4th term. Okay, which again, if you need me to clarify that, just let me know. Okay, so the 1st term is going to be 444 times the ratio, which we established was 2, to the n minus 1 power. And again, we're looking for the 4th term. So n minus 1, so 4 minus 1, which is 3. So 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 2, which is 8. So I have 444 times 8. Okay, and that's going to be 3,552. And that's my answer. Okay, so for the next one, they give us some terms and they want us to write the formula. Okay, so again, for the formula, we have an, which is the nth term, the 1st term, the ratio, and then n minus 1. Now, they don't tell us how far we're going in terms of if we're looking for 20 terms or 10 terms or 100 terms. So we're going to be leaving this part and this part alone. So really the only thing that we're filling in is the 1st term and the ratio. Okay, so the 1st term we know is 2. So an equals 2 times the ratio. So let's go back to the thing. Well, what is the ratio between each one? So here from 2 to 4, I multiplied by 2. From 4 to 8, I multiplied by 2. And 8 to 16, same thing. So that means my ratio is going to be 2. So when I go back down here, times 2 to the n minus 1 power. And the reason, again, why we're leaving the n's is because we don't know up to what term we're going. And that's it. This would be the formula. Okay. For number 5 that we're going to talk about is the geometric means. So here we basically have 3 terms in between 1 and 81 that we need to figure out. So we know what the 1st term is and we know what the last term is. We don't know what the ratio is. So we're just going to solve for it. So we have an, which is 81, equals the 1st term, which we know is 1, times the ratio to n minus 1 power, and then we know that 81 is the 5th term. Oh, also, let me explain why there's 3 slots that we're looking for. The question asked us to find 3 geometric means. So that's why we know there's 3 terms in the middle. Okay, so now we're just going to solve for r. So 5 minus 1 is 4, so 1 times r to the 4th power. 1 times r to the 4th is just r to the 4th, so I'm just going to rewrite this to make it pretty. I need to figure out what r is. So I'm going to get the 4th root. So that way the exponent can cancel with the root. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So now I just need to figure out what to the fourth power equals 81, which I know is 3, because 3 to the fourth power is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, and then 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 times 9 is 81. So if the ratio is 3, then I go back up here. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And 27 times 3 gives me my 81. And that's it.